dignitaries and participants. I welcome you once again to the 6th day of Global Initiative on Academic Network course on Sustainable Urbanism, meticulously organized by the Department of Architecture and Planning, National Institute of Technology, Patna. Over the last 5 days, we have traced a clear arc from foundational ideas of shared resource stewardship and equity through policy instruments for greener growth to the real-world levers that make cities livable. Each session has sharpened our understanding that sustainable urbanism is neither a single metric nor a borrowed template, but a balance of environment, economy, and community calibrated to the local context. Last day's focus on sustainable transportation brought those principles on the move. Professor Anthony highlighted tools such as urban growth boundaries and sector-wise energy audits, stressing that every city must build on its own comparative advantage instead of copying the last model. Professor Mandal then mapped pathways towards transport systems that are both low carbon and climate resilient. Interactive mode reinforced the lessons. 4 teams quantified how energy use in selected cities has shifted from 1990 to 2024, and everyone calculated their own personal ecological footprint. Today we will be focusing on developing a sustainable city and cities and climate change, followed by class activities. Over to you, Dr.
Thank you, Adrish. Thank you very much everyone for coming this morning. I really appreciate all of you coming here. I hope you had some time to rest and relax over the weekend. Today, it's like we've done about 5 full days of lecture with some activities in between. And today we plan to have a full day of activity with maybe a lecture at the end. We'll see how the activity goes because it's a full day activity, and I think it's going to be really interesting. Okay. So first, to recap, urban areas in many places in the world are sprawling, and this sprawl is really, really bad for many, many reasons, right? It is taking lots of land that is ecologically sensitive, removing that land, taking lots of land that is fertile farmland and removing that land, and it will never come back again. Second, because of that urban sprawl, the cost of development is going up for the city. They are building roads, they are building pipelines at pipes, sewer pipes, solid waste pipes, all of them. And the cost of building that for 100 households or 1,000 households is much higher when people are sprawling over a long distance, right? So the cost of to the municipality of urban development, municipalities for urban development is increasing. Cities, as we know, need to be financially and prospering very well. They should be doing things financially. They have they have economies of scale, economies of agglomeration. So city economy should be growing, especially a big city should be growing. And thirdly, in big cities, often even as the cities grow, you would have a big gap between the poor and the rich, right? Big gap between the poor and the rich. So, city economies, as they grow, the economy has to grow and it has to reach, remember the Kuznets curve? The city has to go from the left side to the right side, and then they can focus a little bit on reducing the inequalities and all of that. So I would like us to explore all of this, and we'll do it in 2 phases. Now this is the exercise that we're doing today. I do it regularly at my university using a US city called Phoenix, okay? But you guys don't know Phoenix, and the context is not very familiar to you. So I want us to do an exercise. So all my slides are actually prepared for Phoenix. But this morning I said, forget about Phoenix, let's do an Indian city. So the Indian city that we're going to do is Patna. Okay? So it'll be done in 2 parts. In the first part, I'm going to divide you into some groups, again at random, and I want you to explore and map the urban spatial expansion of the city of Patna from 1991 to 2021, so 30 years. And 1991 because that's a census year, right? So you can get census information also for a whole bunch of things. Like the urban expansion of Patna, identify places, environmentally sensitive places that have been lost already, environmentally sensitive places that are threatened right now, okay? That may be ecologically sensitive or fields, because this is on the banks of the river Ganga, one of the most fertile places on earth, right? This probably should be put for agriculture, but instead if you put it for low density apartment building, that's a big waste of a resource, right? So mapping all of that. So increase in population, increase in urban land, a decrease in ecologically sensitive land, decrease in farmland over the last 30 years, and changes in urban density. How has urban density changed? And preferably for different parts. Maybe you can divide the cities in different wards, right? If you can get information by wards or by planning districts, if Patna Metropolitan Authority has got planning districts by planning districts, mapping all of that, and I'll give you different groups, okay? So this is what everyone will be different groups as well. Then, looking at examining the economic base of Patna, like what are the major industries? How has employment in the industries changed over time from 1991 to 2021? Okay, 3 time points. So 1991, 2001, 2011. There is probably no census information for 2021, but there might be some estimates somewhere. Okay, how things have changed over. For 3 observations, you will get 91, 2001, 2011, right? 4th observation you might not get, and you can make some estimates from that. And then identifying the major industries and identifying the location quotients of major industries. Remember, we calculated location quotients for major industries, comparing Patna's employment to employment in India. Okay, so employment, for example, Patna, there are factories in Patna. How many people are employed in factories in Patna divided by the number of people employed in Patna? Same ratio for India. How many people are employed in factories in India divided by number of people in India? And so you'll get the location quotient, right? So doing that. And as part of that exercise, also looking at which are the other big cities in the area that Patna might be competing with, either for investment in industry or for trade or commerce. Okay, investment in industry means if say Microsoft, if iPhone is planning to locate a factory in eastern India, will they come to Patna, or will they come to Calcutta, or will they go to Guwahati, or will they go to Bhubaneswar? Okay, so identifying which of these could be the competitor cities and seeing what are Patna's comparative advantages. Remember Manoj and Mohan, like compared to that, like what is Patna? So what comparative advantages does Patna have? Analyzing that and seeing whether Patna is taking advantage of its comparative advantages. Okay, so that's the second part. So the first is the environment part, the second is the economic development part, and the third part is the equity part. And in that, looking at changes in income over the past since 1991, changes in the income, the ratio of the lowest 20% to the highest 20%, or lowest 10% to the highest 10%. Then identifying what percentage of the population has access to decent housing and how it has changed over time. What percentage of the population has access to water, how it has piped water, municipal water, how it has changed over time. What percentage of the population has access to clean sanitation facilities and how that has changed over time. Okay, so that is the equity piece. Okay, and then hopefully by 12:30 or so we'll finish this, and then in the second part is going to be an interesting part. Okay, in the second part, after we have all this information, I'm going to divide you into different groups of stakeholders. Okay, 2 or 3 people are going to be politicians, 2 or 3 people are going to be planners, 2 or 3 people are going to be developers, 2 or 3 people are going to be environmentalists, and 2 or 3 people are going to be businessmen and citizens. And I'll present a particular planning problem. And you guys have to discuss among yourselves and come up with a solution for the planning problem. Okay, and politicians will be saying, we got to do this. Planners will be saying, no, we'll have to do this. And then hopefully, all of you will come up with a compromise by the end of the day, okay? So the first day would be data collection, identifying the problem, which is real, right? It's a real problem. The second, we will be simulating how decision making happens. Okay, so there obviously none of you is a politician, but I want you to step into the role of a politician to see what kind of forces they are dealing with. Okay, and we'll do that for the second half after lunch. So it's going to be a fun day. Okay, but the first part is going to be you have to collect lots of data, and then depending how long we take for the second one, we might have a lecture at the end of the day today, or we'll have the lecture tomorrow. Okay. But this itself will take quite a long time. And generally when I do it at my university, it takes about 3.5 hours for this activity, for these two pieces, okay? So, so the three things are there, right? The environment piece, the economic piece, and the equity piece. So I'm going to divide the whole class into three groups, okay? So, Meenakshi, you're 1, 2, 3, 1, you're 1, okay? 2, Ajay, you're 2, Vivek, 3, Ajay, 4, oh, sorry, Ajay, you're 1 again, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Okay, Meenakshi, you're 1, right? Okay, all the ones. Could you just stand up, all the ones? In the ones, do you guys have people with some GIS skills? GIS not? Okay, go ahead. Then you do the environment piece. Okay? Map everything, create maps of how things have changed, identify these environmentally sensitive lands that have been lost over the last few years, and also project if population growth rate grows like this and land consumption goes like this, in the next 10 years, by 2031, how much more land would be lost? Or by 2041, how much more land would be lost? How much more farmland, how much more agricultural land would be lost, okay? So document what has been lost and how much more would be lost. Okay, so you can have fun with maps, but also identify all the problems. Okay, team number, all the twos, raise your hands. You guys look at the economic profile of Patna, okay? Industries, how it has changed, location quotient, comparative advantage, all of those things, okay? And so all the team number ones move towards Ashish. Everyone move towards Ashish, team number 1, everyone. And within the group, you can split yourself into different tasks, okay? By year or task, you do, because the group is fairly large, by year or task, divide yourself into different groups. So in the economic part, I'll come to you also. I'll come to you. Okay, so don't worry about it.
So you can sit there.
Yeah, you can sit there, sit wherever, but everyone come together. All number ones go with Ajay. So all the number twos, raise your hand, all the number twos, come to Julie. Come forward to Julie, everyone, all the number twos. Who are the other number twos? Ajay, sorry, you're number 2, right? Come forward. And any other number 2s? There should be at least 5 number 2s. Yeah, number 1s are extra. So Ajay and, yeah, you come forward here. Come forward. You're also number 2, right? 3. Number 3. Okay. Who are the number 3s? Raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 number 3s. 1, 2, 3. Okay, all the number 3s come this side. Come here. So let's see, number 1 has got how many people? Number 1? Who are the number 1s? Number 1s, raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is there a 6th person in number 1?
Yeah. Yes.
Ashish is there. Can someone join the number 2 group? Can someone from number 1 come to number 2? Number 2 is how many? 1, 2, 3, 4. Number 2 is 5, 6. This group, oh, okay, no, fine, no shifting, that's fine. That's 6, 5, 5, that's okay, good. Yeah. Okay, so number 1, your task is very clear, okay? Number 2 and number 3, I'll come and talk to you. You have some broad introduction, I'll first go to number 2, then I'll come to number 3, okay? And you have time, don't worry about the time, but do as thorough research as possible, okay? Good. So I'll come around, I'll come to all the groups and I'll talk to you. Okay, let me go there. Okay, So for the city of Patna, but the metropolitan area. See if you can get information for the metro area. And then look at how many people are employed, in which kind of sectors, and as detailed as possible. You have all that, right? So take it as detailed as possible, okay? And make sure that you're getting all the three groups. There might be some people involved in agriculture or livestock, some people in manufacturing, and some people in service sector. So get all of that and see how that has changed from 1991 to 2021. Okay, and then project it for the next 10 or 20 years to 2031 or 2041. How that might change based on past trends. You know projections, right? You can do some projections, population projections. Similarly, employment projections, do that till 2031 or 2041. Okay, then look at the location quotient of Patna for each of those industries. So for example, for major industry groups, okay? So if there are lots of factories in Patna, look at the location quotient for employment in that industry compared to the rest of India. And do that for, let's say, the top 10 or 12 industries, okay? Yeah, so Patna versus the rest of India. Remember the location quotient thing? Okay, remember from that day, two or 3 days ago we discussed, look at the location quotient for all the industries. Then, from then also examine, so someone as well, one person is doing location, one or two people are doing location quotient. The other one or two people can look at, based on your knowledge of Patna's economy, like what are the things in which Patna should have a comparative advantage? Okay. So maybe it is brick manufacture, maybe it is that, okay, comparative, or building construction, or building products industry, okay. So based on theory and other knowledge, identify what Patna should have a comparative advantage in, okay, and then compare Patna to other cities in the east on many location quotients compared to manufacturing, different, the 10 and 12 industries. Calculate the similar location quotient for 10 or 12 industries for a few other cities in the eastern area of India. So for that, you have to make a case for, let's say, 5 or 6 or 7 cities that could be competing with Patna, right? If iPhone is putting a factory here, Patna might say come here, but so might Guwahati, so might Bhubaneswar, right? So identify which are the 6 or 7 or 8 or 10, cities that might be potential competitors to Patna, and then look at the location quotient for different industry for these 7 or 8 factories, 7 or 8 industries, and then you say, like I'm just making up an example. Okay, let's say Patna should have, let's say Patna has a high comparative advantage for high-tech industries. Let's say, okay, and so compared to Bhubaneswar, compared to Guwahati, Patna's location quotient should be very high for high-tech industries. Let's say it should be 3.0. 1.0 is the same as the country. But your theory is that Patna should have, for a variety of reasons, has lots more people in high-tech industries because there are lots of universities, old universities, Patna Science College, and many people from in the Indian Administrative Service are from here. So probably the quality of education is high here. Okay, so therefore they should be there. More, the location quotient for high-tech industry should be 2.0 or so. But then you find that the location quotient is only 0.5. And Guwahati has 2.5. Guwahati is not supposed to have so many high-tech, but it has. So then, discuss why that is the case and how Patna can change that. Okay, so that's the economy. So we are going by the 3 Venn diagrams. Okay, so one group is looking at the environment, you're looking at the economy, and the third group will look at the economic justice part. Okay, and I'll be here, so we can, but there are no lectures, so we can concentrate just on this, doing this activity. Is that okay, Julie? You have enough information to start? And if you have any doubts, just ask me, okay? And write everything down, so we'll have a 2 or 3 days. Okay. So, you have to focus on the experience. Okay? So you have to figure out how incomes have changed from 1991 to 2021, and then project it for 2031 and 2041. You can do projections, right? Using graphs, you can project how much and you see how many incomes have. Then look at the difference. The incomes of the lowest 20% versus the incomes of the top 20%, and how that ratio has changed. That's the Kuznets curve, how that ratio has changed over time. 1991, 2001, 2011, 2021, and then project for 2031 and 2041. Then look at access to amenities and facilities for different income groups. Okay, like if you can, I don't know how easily searchable the Indian census is, but you have worked with the Indian census, right? So I haven't, so I don't know how searchable it is, but if you can find out, like in the top 20% of the population, what percentage has access to water, sanitation, sewage, and how much do they pay for water, for instance? And then in the bottom 20%, what percentage of 20% of income, how much have access to water supply, sanitation, sewage, and how these things have changed for each of these time points. 1991, 2001, 2020, 11, 21, and your projections for 2031 and 2041. Okay? And then similarly, what percentage has access to decent housing, good quality housing? So top bottom 20% would primarily be living in slums or being homeless, right? But has that changed? On the bottom 20% has the proportion of slum dwellers increased? Has it increased or decreased over time? So anything, and then so these are the broad parameters, and then anything else that you feel as you're looking through the census, you can get more information. I don't want to give you too many things because I don't know what's in the census. But as you look through the census, if you can find some other measures of measuring inequality, put that in. Okay, for example, I'll give you one for example. In the top 20% of the population, how many women have a college degree? In the bottom 20%, it will be very low. But how that proportion has changed would be important. If in the bottom 20%, in 1991, 0% had a college degree. But now 5% have a college degree. That's really good to show that the city is addressing inequality. And all these things are important for the city because if a city has lots of inequities, there will be social unrest. People will not support the city administration. Planning will not happen. If there are 50% of the population are living in slums without access to water, and PS planners come and say we must clean up the city and make nice roads and nice parks, people will not support this. And politicians know what the majority wants, right? So we can give them good plans, but the politicians want votes from these poor people. So we need to understand what's happening. So once we understand what's happening, we can actually talk to politicians and get our plans. So we can tell them these things have happened, we recognize it, but here's how our plan will benefit those poor people also. Okay? So hopefully we can finish all this by 12:30, but if not, I'll give you some more time as well. But try to make it as detailed as possible and put lots of maps and charts. Okay, and maybe 3 pages of text, 3 or 4 pages of text. Keep writing as you find information, but put everything as much as possible into charts and maps. Okay, and then all this information will be provided to the entire class, and then hopefully if it's done by 12:30, the entire class can look at it over lunch, and then after lunch I'll divide you into those groups. And we'll have some fun, okay? Okay? Yeah. Full activities.
You can bring that chair down.
No, I'll just turn this around.
That will be better, sir.
Otherwise, I can sit here.
No, you'll have to go in. I'll just sit here.
Better. Please, because I don't know. I have sent an email to that principal. Should I do it? I wrote reminder also. Can you send me and send them a gentle reminder?
Yeah. Now you've sent the emails, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Now we just hope that everything works out. I think. Let's see. So they should say yes or no today, tomorrow, right?
Yeah. Because I have very critical solution.
So Abhishek, I'm hoping that all of the people will be in Patna, right? So they'll have a good understanding of Patna.
Yes, exactly. That is better they will understand.
It will work very well. Information synthesize into one file, okay? No multiple files. And the environment group, call your file environment. Okay, economic group, call your file economic development. And the equity group, call it equity, okay? And as far as possible, try to put things in both absolute numbers and percentages, okay? Percentage growth is much more important, but if you have absolute numbers, that's also good, okay? And take about 4 more minutes, and after that we'll break for lunch. And then we'll come back at 1:30 possibly, but definitely 1:45, okay? But you're finding all the information, right? You're able to put something together. Okay, good.
One was this one, in 2011, the built-up area was not up to here. And then we move on to 2001. Okay. If we look at this area, then we can see the change in urban area. And this is 2001. And with this, suppose this area we can see there is change in urban area.
So water bodies are sinking now.
Water bodies are becoming smaller.
And few constant parties over here,
Yeah.
Jews and so you will see change over here also, which was a predominant village.
See, 91 it's like this. This is urban agricultural lands, and in 2001 it's full of.
So the whole city is shifting towards west.
The west side.
West and south.
West and
In
south.
this one you can see more. Yeah.
So we will say that
Yeah.
like furthermore if can do it for more detailing we have to go through each and every space and calculate the actual area.
You can-
But we have that thing as a data.
Okay.
Like what they have projected and how it's changing in past
Yeah.
so that we will speak up.
Great. And do you have which areas are environmentally sensitive that we should protect in future? If you can find out.
Western and southern portions.
We have mentioned in the bullet points.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, bullet points. So I'll ask one of you to present. Okay. After you're done. After you're Okay. And do you compare cities, Patna with some other cities? Calcutta? Only? You come, okay, with different cities and states. Okay. Okay, great. And from what do you expect Patna to have compared to Okay, so river location, so you expect more workforce, good sectors.
That's a
On agro-based industries.
Milk and dairy industries that is increasing.
Okay. And compared to the location quotient for other places, does Patna have a higher location quotient for agro-based compared to other cities? Okay. So you mentioned all that in your report. That's one place you present for 5 or 10 minutes. Okay. So are you ready to upload? Or you take a few more minutes? Yeah.
In 1991, we didn't have the population of slum, or slum was not mentioned in the census.
Really?
Yeah.
That is surprising.
Yeah, and we are not able to find 1991 data as well. That have been removed from the census of India government. So we are not finding it, but in comparison to we are comparing 2001 and 2011.
And 2021? No census.
No census, still no census. And one more thing is that the GDP is also completely increasing and shooting after 2001, because what has happened in 2000, the Bihar state was divided in two parts. There is Jharkhand and Bihar, and the population and the total GDP was divided by so many population. So the population got half, and the GDP just shoot up in 2000.
Population was means denser part comes in Bihar and
That's a part of India.
Less denser part in that area. So we have seen that after 2011, it was like changed 10 times.
But
Sorry, 3 to 4 times.
But that's for Patna area, right?
Yeah, Patna area.
Patna area also GDP has gone up.
Yeah.
Okay. And then have you found for the other equity things like 20% top, 20%? How much has access to water supply and things like that?
Access of water supply or sanitation and other things we have found, and that is a lot of population has in Patna city has amenities, basic amenities, but there is similarly at the same time the inequality is also there.
Between the top 20%?
Yeah, because the habitation of slums and the habitation of low quality houses have very inequality.
Okay. So after you guys upload, you need 10 minutes more, 10, 15 minutes more? 15 minutes. After that, I'll ask one of you to present. Okay, 5-10 minutes to the rest of the class.
We need to create a literature review table actually. So that will be containing the author's name, the year in which the paper has been published, pros, cons, and some cons will contain again issues like that, and the schemes. So we will ask ChatGPT to create a literature review table, and it will create it. But by the end of the day, you will find out that there are no authors. The author that they have mentioned, it's not physically present. Yeah. So we should not rely 100%. We need to do some ground truth analysis from our side.
Thank you very much, guys. You all worked very, very hard, okay? Since you worked over 3 hours putting all this thing together, this is really impressive. Very, very good. I hope the learning experience is good, right? Looking up different information, also finding things about Patna. So for the next 15 or 20 minutes, what we're going to do is this. At least for 5 minutes, 5 to 6 minutes, each group is going to present what they found, okay? So I want one person from team 1, the environment group, to come forward and summarize the findings that they found. What are the major trends? What are the major ecological changes that have happened? And if development continues this way, what are the major dangers ahead for the Patna region? Okay, so first that group. Similarly, after that, the economy group, team 2, someone from team 2 should come and present for 5 or 6 minutes. And then after that, team 3, someone should come and present for 5 or 6 minutes. After that, we'll have a tea break. And then we'll go to the fun part of the end of the day, okay? Then we'll have some really good fun after that. Okay, so team 1, someone come forward, please, anyone. Yeah, you can speak from here, but just speak loud enough for everyone to hear. Okay, listen up folks, to Professor Meenakshi.
Our group is the environment group, and first of all we have seen the demographic growth of Patna Municipal Corporation from the year 1991 to 2021. So as you can see, it's shown with the help of a line graph. In the year 1991, the total population of Patna was 11.55 lakhs, and in the year 2021 it has grown to 24.82 lakhs. So there has been a remarkable growth in the population, but compared to what it was there earlier, the growth rate has slowed down. Like in between 1991 to 2001, the growth rate of population was 47.96%. It went down to 20.65% in 2011 and further 20.36% in the year 2021. So growth rate has slowed down slightly. And if you see the density of population, there has been an exponential growth in the density. In the year 1991, the density was 8,891 persons per square kilometer. And the data for 2021 is a projected data. We have calculated it the basis of the projected population and the area. So it has grown to approximately 23,000 persons per square kilometer, which is approximately a growth of 159.3% in 4 decades. It's quite exponential. Now, as we move ahead, we'll come to the maps, the 4 maps that we have seen. This is from 1991. The red color areas that you see here, they are basically the areas which are open areas. Either they have been used for cultivation of vegetables or they are simply open areas. And the grey color areas that you see on the map, They are basically the built-up areas of Patna Municipal Corporation, and there's a boundary of the Patna Municipal Corporation.
So you're doing it
There's a
only
bound-
within the corporation, or you're doing it for the metropolitan
For
area?
the corporation, PMC.
Okay.
Like in the PMC area. So we move ahead to the next year. This is 2001. Furthermore, now here the changes are not so much, but if you move to the year 2011, now here you can see that the built-up area has clearly increased remarkably. And there's growth of built-up areas in the southern parts of the city. Especially the center part that you can see the blue color area which is going towards the south. In that area, we used to have, it was a low-lying area where water chestnut cultivation was being done in a very large quantity earlier. But now that entire area has been reclaimed and it has been converted into an educational hub. The Aryavarth University, then CNLU, we have NIFT Patna, all those educational institutions have come up in that area. And we have growth towards the western part of the city as well. North we can't have growth because we are surrounded by River Ganga. So southern area, what was the problem? This was the area which was getting flooded by River Kuntul almost every year. Now also it gets flooded, but now they have reclaimed this land. The land is filled up and now it has been turned into a built-up area.
So this is the river both side.
Yes. For the these are the boundaries.
Okay.
Okay, then we come to 2021, and here you can see that the southern area, the more built-up area has come up in the south, and towards the west as well. Now the western area, this was the area which was basically used for cultivation of vegetables all around the year. And a lot of land was vacant here, but now what has happened, new development of Patna is taking place in these areas, and this is where the apartment culture is on rise. We have high-rise buildings in these areas.
What's the yellow color on the map? There's a new color on the map, right?
This was agricultural land, which was
This one.
outside the perimeters of PMC.
Yeah.
Basically,
It's because of the different month photographs which we have taken. Suppose like it was in the month of March or
Okay.
So what our conclusion is that the density within the PMC municipal corporation area, that is on a rise. And the open spaces, they are on a decline. And most of the construction work that is going on, the conversion of built-up area that is happening in the southern parts of the city and the western part. Now these are fragile areas also now, especially the southern part of the city, because this is an area which according to urban principles is not very suitable for built-up area development because it's a low-lying area and always has a tendency to flood, especially during the monsoons every year. And western area, built-up area is expanding. So this also was a environmentally stable zone earlier. We had lots of wildlife here, small animals could be seen here, but now we can't see that.
So if there is no intervention, if there is no government intervention, strong government intervention, what do you expect might happen in the next 10 or 20 years?
It will be completely converted into a concrete jungle.
Into a concrete jungle. So are there specific areas in the PMC or surrounding areas that need to be protected? Are there some areas that need to be protected within the PMC limits?
Sir, in center there are zoo area
Yeah.
and the airport here which are protected by the government.
Okay.
Southern portion,
this is the
at least the government was planned to develop that area as a urban zone.
Okay.
But still some of the areas are left, if they can be left as they are, then it will be a good thing for the city on a whole. But the problem is that the population is expanding.
Yeah.
Density is on rise.
Yeah.
And we need more and more space to accommodate the growing population.
Okay. So suppose how much of the area within PMC do you think is very, very fragile ecologically?
I think
10%, 20%?
Approximately 30%.
30%.
30%.
30% is fragile and it's within the PMC limits.
Within the PMC.
Okay. And then if you go outside the PMC limits on the south side, there is even more fragile land,
More
right?
fragile.
Because there is that river. And if you go to the west, it's more fertile land, right?
Fertile land.
So perhaps we should control urbanization to PMC limits over the next 10 or 20 years, right? Otherwise there's going to be lots more ecologically sensitive land that is lost, right?
What I felt that if something can be done about the prices of the houses
Yeah.
within the PMC area, like rationalization could be done, if they are not so expensive, then instead of moving to the perimeters and outside the perimeters of the PMC, maybe the population will be contained over there.
Yeah.
People are basically moving out because land or buying a flat within the PMC area has become very expensive.
Very expensive, yeah.
And then pointing out some of the underutilized area and then developing it in more sustainable way or sensible way.
Okay, so which are the underutilized areas?
There are many on the CBD districts. There
Yeah.
are many lands which are disputed and because of some ownership issue or something.
Okay.
So those are underutilized, mostly vacant and all, and because of court cases, civil
Yeah.
cases and all. So
Okay.
they
We
can.
are redeveloping the old buildings as well within the
Yeah.
perimeters of the city.
Some of the building which has aged around 40 years and highly in debilitated condition, they can't be livable and also they need to demolish that and make it more high rise or kind of that.
Okay. Okay. And so I think yeah. So maybe limiting growth to PMC area for the next 10 or 20 years might be good. Developing some infill might be good. And we need to do something about housing prices, right? If housing, of things are, some of the slums are regularized or rationalized, then that might help with housing needs also, right? Okay, this is good work, guys, and I'm glad that you put all your team members' names on it, and good mapping and good information. Those graphs are really, really very, very good. So thank you very much, Team 1. Very good work. Okay, Team 2. Who's going to share your summary of your stuff? Yeah, Ajay, are you going to present? Yeah, you can do it from there, but just stand up and share with the entire class.
We work on the economic development of Patna metropolitan area. So this table explains the existing condition or existing status of the industrial area in the Patna metropolitan region, where Beta and the Fatua contributes have the major contribution, have the major industries established over here. Next, in next part, which explains about the industrial scenario over here, where the 40%. This graph explains like we have 40% of them are registered, and it generates about 3.48% of employment. Have the 3.48% of employment intensity. Next. This graph explains that we have about 12,000 of industrial unit in the Patna metropolitan region, out of which about 8 to 9,000 are registered, and about 100 of them are medium and large industries, and rest of all lies below the 10. Next slide. Here we try to explain the micro and small enterprise analysis, where the total units of them are about thousands, and creates total employment of around 5,800. So the average investment it generates about 3.84 rupees lakh per unit. Below the distribution number of unit chart explains that major contribution is from the agro-based industry, and they have the 16.2% of share of agro-based units, and rest the 18.7% of share is from the manufacturing unit. In the next comparative analysis graph, which shows the unit versus investment versus employment, here the blue graph bar chart explains that the major contribution, as we have discussed above, the major contribution is from the agro-based industries, and so they have the major investment plus the employment generation. Next, from the coefficient of variation of industrial employment will be explained by Vijay. Please turn on page number 8. Page number 8.
Page number 8. It's above, below.
Coefficient of variation of industrial employment.
Location quotient
Is this one?
8.
Where are the page numbers?
So there is a one diagram like.
Is it before this or after?
हाइड करना उसको
One
देखिए
of our questions was location questions of the Patna versus eastern states. So eastern states we have taken Assam, Odisha and West Bengal. It can be clearly seen in the first three rows. And with the rest of the country also, the data is there about consumer goods, intermediate goods. We have figured out. So then we have compared Patna with eastern cities in the next page. Please come to the next page. Yes. So some of the findings are like there is one of the largest leather clusters is in Fatuha Plant. And export from Patna and Bihar is grain, sugarcane, sesame and rice in a large bulk. So in 2015 GDP per capita of Patna is 1,06,000 and its GDP growth rate is 7.29. Next section is comparative advantage of Patna. So will you present first? Okay. Comparative advantage of Patna. So can you come to page number 10? Look below than this. Yes. Page number is not there. Okay. So it is a large, like Bihar is a large food producing state, and rice, as regards rice, sixth in India. Wheat, vegetables, banana are also produced. So yield of major crops in Bihar from 2020 to 2024, the data is there, which includes rice, maize, barley, jowar, bajra, pulses, and fruits is in the next page. Yes, next page. Banana, gooseberry, etc. So labor absorbing the industry can reduce unemployment. As regards industry, there is a natural resource abundancy. Mining and quarrying industry are there. India's region of Kaimur and Maika, Gaya and Nevada area as well.
Okay, so what are the comparative advantages of Patna? You've done that compared to other places, right?
Yes.
The other state, the discrimination not on the basis of caste.
Oh, okay.
In the other state, they are poor.
Yeah.
In the state, they are poor plus the
Low caste.
low caste.
Okay.
To avoid that, they go to the other state.
There they get some money and then they can.
Migration was also region specific. Earlier they used to migrate Delhi, Punjab, Haryana region. And there's a big area like in Rohtas and all, from there people they are migrating towards Middle East.
Oh, wow.
They work as
Laborers there.
laborers over there.
But the salary is 10 times more.
It's better. Because of that they started an airport in Darbhanga. Because from that side people are basically going towards Middle Eastern countries.
International airport.
So an airport is an international airport.
Wow.
International flights only to the Middle
When you
East.
go to the passport office, now you find these people over there.
Oh.
Passport.
Okay, carry on.
Yeah. So why other cities have high location quotient? These are key disadvantage factors. So geographical concentrate, limited industrial infrastructure, low manufacturing growth, limited FDI, agriculture dominance, and infrastructure gaps. So the solution to improve the Patna location quotient, develop the industrial clusters to improve the connectivity and streaming regulation, skill development, focus in IT, electronics, and promote the food processing. So the when we improve the proportion of employment in agro-based industry in Patna is 0.05.25%. So national employment in agro-based industry is 41.49% of Indian workforce, and then assuming Indian total workforce is approximately 500 million, the number of employed in agriculture stall. So this is the agro of approximately 0.025, suggesting that agro-based industry has significantly unrepresented in Patna compared to the national average, and they indicate a potential area for development and investments to boost the agro-based industry sector in this region.
That's great, very comprehensive, very nice.
So this is the projected employment of the population of 2001 to 2021 and how they
Actually, so this is the projected population of 2001 and 2021, and also the employment rate and how it is growing.
based on the past.
Okay.
Then we also have graphs for this. Next slide. So we can see that the population is growing, and
Yeah.
also the employment is also growing. So this is analysis based on a 30-year gap. So this is the total growth in workers.
Okay.
So it is going to be almost 4 times of what it was earlier in 30 years. So, and these are the list of top 10 industries based on our economic development. Number 1 is food processing and agro-based, and it is still on the national quotient level, it is less, but in Bihar it is like generating the most of the economy.
In Bihar or in Patna?
Sorry, in our Patna metropolitan
Okay.
area. So we have number 1 is food processing and agro-based, and uske baad we have, next please, IT sector and digital services, then dairy industry. Recently, Bihar State Milk Cooperative Federation Limited have been formed, and Sudha, one of the company which is generating most of its economy in dairy sector. Then we move into manufacturing and engineering, in which there are different private limited industries are coming up, like steel industries or some foreign exchange industries. Then we have cyber security and forensic industries, and then we come to logistics and warehousing. So as we have discussed that the location of Patna is very prominent, and it is in the middle of the state, and very good connectivity of its with the Golden Quadrilateral. So because of its railway infrastructure and also its location on the river side, it has a good advantage for coming up new industries. So logistic is good. Then we have railway engineering and infrastructure, because as this metropolitan area is a developing phase, so we have different railway platforms and railway stations coming up in our area. So for that it is growing. Then education and publishing, and after that film, media and production, and then real estate and urban development. So all of 10 industries, the growth of all these 10 industries have been compared, like how it was in 1991, and then in 2001, and then 2011, and then 2025. And then next, then we have plotted a graph on how these industries have risen up in the following years. Then next. So the reasons which I was talking about, like why these 10 industries have a boom in Patna metropolitan area, so because of its geographical advantage, the transportation infrastructure, and the dry port development, which has been now inaugurated in Beta, and infrastructure, urban planning, economic policies and investment. And then next. So we can say that even if the industrial profile of Patna metropolitan area is on rise, but still at global and national level we are lagging. So that is what we finally observed. And we also have uploaded 2 of the maps, but I think it was of higher MBs. So we downloaded that from Patna Master Plan of 2031, which showed how the industrial area is developing in different regions. Previously it was mostly in municipal corporation area, but now it is also increasing in Beta and Fatua area. So those two maps are there in the end. And also we did a comparative analysis based on the cities, the agro-based industries, how they are performing in Patna and how they are performing in Kolkata and how they are performing in Dispur. So in this we could see that Dispur is, in spite of having a less funding in Dispur has gained more of its, developed better and gained more economy in agro-based industries. And in IT sector, Kolkata is doing much better than us as compared to Dispur.
Okay. So this is very comprehensive, very comprehensive work. Thank you very much. This is really good. You did this all without AI? You did this without AI help? So then this evening you can publish a book on Patna's economy. You have so much of information here. But thank you very much. This is very good work. Okay, third group, equity group. Who's going to share from the equity group? Yeah.
First of all, I would like to introduce Patna as a very ancient city, but as we have seen that 1991 has very less per capita income in Patna district, and because of that time this city was almost an aggregate, the city and the district was almost an aggregation society, and till 2021 this has become an urban center, and the inequality has increased completely. As per we see the per capita income has shooted up. In 2001 to 2011, the decadal change has the yearly growth in Patna district has almost more than 10%, and overall development of Bihar has almost more than 10%, and which has sometimes increased the increase in economic development of our country also. And we have projected that almost in coming 2 decades, the per capita income is going to decrease nearly about 200%. And next slide. And in 2001 and 2011, that has increased mostly which is almost 450%. This is the same graph, almost I think. The basic amenities in Patna has moreover challenging. As I was discussed that the city has transformed, or the district has transformed from aggregating society to an economic hub or an urban center, which is continuously growing and developing more and more. The drinking water facility has increased from 62% to 87% and then 87.0% because of sudden increase or change, or because due to change in population due to migration, there is some drinking water facilities have a bit less in 2011 between 2001 and 2000. The electricity has completely, there is a drastic change, and overall in Patna district, the 55% population is getting electricity in 1991, and in 2011 almost 93.0% has getting electricity. And I think now if we not consider the slums which are not getting electricity, otherwise overall the whole district is getting electricity, and it is more than average of 1991 and 2001. Similarly, the sanitation facility has increased. In 1991 it was 40%, and in 2001 it shooted up to 86.7%. And because of same the increase in slum population during 2001 and 2011, the toilet or sanitary decreased in 2011. The bathroom is almost like the toilet facilities, and the kitchen also is almost about same. Condition and gender equity. As this agrarian society have more and more population, main agriculture workers, they are more inclined towards agriculture, and development of increased the agriculture workers have come to complete, which was almost 16% in 1990. The projection that it is 2041 is 2%. and the total workforce has also increased, and because non-worker population is now to the working population, and it is the other workers population has also, which is like the urban center job opportunities, and due to which the urban population increased very much. The female population was earlier in agriculture. Now the job opportunities like and all other jobs which are coming regular state, the participation has increased, and similarly the literacy rate has also increased, which is due to the different programs which have been going on in the state. And one more thing I would like to add here, that the workers population, the women worker population was very much confined to agriculture areas, because in this area the paddy cultivation is more, and the sowing of paddy is only done by women earlier, and which has been now, there has also a shift, and the paddy cultivation has also shifted, and many people are doing now sowing also, and because of that the population has changed, the trend has changed. Then the urban population, the total slum. Here we didn't find the data, the correct data of 1991, but I would like to compare in 2001 and 2011. That the total slum population was 34,498 in 10 major slums, which increased to almost double, which in only 10 years. And these are the authorized, unauthorized slums, which population has increased so much. So that we can understand with this only that the inequality has very much increasing in this city, and the percentage of urban population in slum has also shooted up, and because of the luring thing that the employment generation is here more, the people are coming more towards the city, and the number of settlement listed are different, which was earlier 10 has now increased to 52, and some of the data shows that in 2021 it has increased to almost 73. 10 to 52, and it is increased to 73 now. And the permanent housing in urban settlements has 86%, which grows to almost 92%. And the slum population has living in deprived conditions. Okay, next. This is the Kuznets. We tried to make a Kuznets curve where we found that the percentage Gini coefficient in 1991 is very much decreased very much, and it came to higher in 2011, and in 2041 it is also decreasing, and so we can understand the social inequality is going to decrease as per time as the per capita income increases in this city. Thank you.
Thank you very much.